Complaining is a habit that may feel natural when life feels heavy, but it silently erodes your respect in the eyes of others. When you constantly complain, people begin to associate you with negativity. Every word you speak carries a vibration, and constant complaints project that you are ungrateful, hopeless, and focused only on problems rather than solutions. People respect those who can endure challenges with courage, not those who amplify problems with endless words. Furthermore, complaining often signals to others that you lack emotional discipline. Instead of processing frustration privately and acting wisely, you choose to release your discontent outwardly, burdening everyone around you. This makes people avoid you in conversations because they fear being drained by your negativity. Respect grows when people see you as a source of strength, not as someone who pollutes the environment with pessimism and bitterness. Another danger of constant complaining is that it blinds you from opportunities. When you speak only about what is wrong, your mind shuts down its creative power to find what could be right. You lose focus on what you can build or improve. People who are driven by solutions rather than complaints naturally earn the admiration of others. Leaders are respected not because their life is easier, but because they respond to hardship without unnecessary whining. Moreover, complaining damages relationships silently. Your friends, family, and colleagues may tolerate it in the beginning, but eventually they become weary. They will stop sharing their victories with you because they know you will respond with a complaint about your own situation. They will avoid seeking your advice because your words carry hopelessness instead of strength. The habit of complaining turns you into a burden rather than a blessing in their lives. Many people believe that complaining makes others sympathize with them, but the truth is, it only invites pity or silent disgust. Sympathy does not equal respect. When you complain, you expose your inability to endure discomfort with dignity. You reveal that you are not mentally strong enough to carry the burdens of life without breaking down into negativity. Those who remain grateful and solution-focused in hard times earn respect because they are rare. Another dimension of this is how complaining affects your own energy and confidence. Each time you complain, you reinforce a sense of helplessness within yourself. You hear your own words and begin to believe that life is just unfair and nothing will ever improve. This victim mentality becomes your identity. People do not respect victims. They respect warriors who rise beyond their pain with faith, gratitude, and silent determination. If you want to be respected, replace your complaints with powerful declarations and silent actions. Instead of saying, "I hate this job," say nothing and start building skills to create a new opportunity. Instead of saying, "No one helps me," remind yourself that your strength is built in isolation. Respect flows towards those who carry their struggles with grace and focus on solutions without polluting everyone's ears with negativity. Finally, remember this truth. The world already has enough problems. It does not need another voice complaining about them. It needs people who bring light, hope, and proactive solutions. If you want to earn genuine respect, silence your complaints and speak words that inspire, heal, and empower. People respect those who refuse to be prisoners of their circumstances and instead choose to rise above them without uttering words of defeat. Breaking promises is one of the quickest ways to lose respect from those around you. When you commit to something, even as small as calling someone back or meeting a deadline, people take your word as a reflection of your character. Each time you break that promise, it sends a clear message that your words carry no weight. Over time, people will hear your commitments and silently dismiss them as empty declarations. Respect is built upon trust, and trust is built upon consistency. When you consistently break your promises, you teach people not to rely on you. They will begin to bypass you for opportunities, decisions, and responsibilities because they know you will likely fail to uphold your word. This habit can destroy your career, weaken your relationships, and isolate you from leadership positions because respect is deeply tied to the dependability of your words. Another danger of breaking promises is that it damages your internal integrity. Every time you promise and fail to deliver, you also teach your own mind that you cannot trust yourself. You weaken your discipline because your subconscious absorbs the message that your words do not require action. This creates a cycle of mediocrity and failure. Without personal integrity, you will never stand tall in your own eyes, let alone in the eyes of others. Furthermore, people observe and remember how you handle even the smallest promises. It could be a commitment to show up early, help a friend, or finish a task. When you fail repeatedly, they may not confront you, but they silently withdraw their respect. They may still smile at you, but deep inside, they know your words are unreliable. Respect is not only about what you say in public, but about how faithfully you fulfill your private commitments. Breaking promises also affects your influence. People are naturally drawn towards those who honor their word, as it gives them a sense of security and trust. When you break promises, you destroy this sense of security. Even if you have talent, intelligence, or skills, people will hesitate to follow your leadership. Why? Because no one wants to invest their energy in someone who might abandon their word halfway. Many people break promises casually, thinking it is normal to change plans or intentions. But if you want to rise above mediocrity and earn true respect, your words must become sacred. Do not promise what you cannot deliver. Speak with honesty, not with the desire to impress people temporarily. Respect comes not from how well you please people with your promises, but from how reliably you fulfill them without excuses. There is also a spiritual and emotional dimension to keeping promises. Each fulfilled promise adds a layer of strength, discipline, and honor to your life. Each broken promise adds a stain to your conscience, creating guilt and lowering your self-esteem. People can sense your internal integrity through your aura and actions. When you become a person of your word, your presence alone commands respect, without needing to demand it verbally. Finally, understand that your words are your bond. If you want to become a man or woman of honor, if you want people to stand by you, to trust you with opportunities, secrets, and responsibilities, you must remove the habit of breaking promises. Let your words become so powerful that when you say, "I will do it," people rest assured it is done. That is how respect is earned, by living with integrity, not merely speaking it. Gossiping is a habit that might feel entertaining or relieving in the moment, but it silently destroys your credibility and dignity. When you gossip about others, you reveal far more about your own character than the person you speak about. You tell people that you cannot be trusted with private matters, that you find joy in other people's weaknesses, and that you seek validation by bringing others down. This is the fastest way to lose respect. People often forget that the person who listens to your gossip today knows you will gossip about them tomorrow. They may nod, laugh, or even contribute to your gossip, but deep down, they mark you as someone who lacks loyalty and discretion. Respect grows towards those who protect the dignity of others, even in their absence. Gossiping signals you are unworthy of trust because your tongue moves without wisdom or restraint. Another dimension of gossip is that it arises from insecurity. When you speak ill of others, it often reflects a hidden dissatisfaction within yourself. You use gossip to mask your own failures or weaknesses by focusing attention on someone else's life. However, people respect those who mind their own journey with focus and confidence. The one who gossips about others is simply revealing their own fear of insignificance. Furthermore, gossiping drains your energy and focus. Each time you waste time discussing someone else's flaws, you rob yourself of mental space that could have been used for your own growth. People who are serious about building their dreams, their careers, their relationships, and their faith do not have time to talk about others unnecessarily. They are too busy shaping their destiny to indulge in cheap conversations. Gossiping also has spiritual consequences. When you spread words that damage someone's reputation or dignity, you carry the weight of that harm within your own soul. Words are powerful. When used carelessly, they destroy. The universe always returns what you give out. Speak evil, and you invite evil upon your life. People respect those who speak blessings and keep silent about others' shortcomings unless it is to advise or correct them directly with compassion. Moreover, gossiping builds a toxic environment around you. It breeds distrust, jealousy, and silent enmity. When you gossip at work, your colleagues will avoid involving you in important matters. When you gossip in your family, people will refrain from opening their hearts to you. When you gossip in your family, people will refrain from opening their hearts to you. When you gossip among friends, you may win temporary laughs, but you lose lasting respect. The wise never admire a gossip. They avoid them. If you want to be respected, develop the habit of guarding your tongue. It breeds distrust, jealousy, and silent enmity. When you gossip at work, your colleagues will avoid involving you in important matters. When you gossip in your family, people will refrain from opening their hearts to you. When you gossip among friends, you may win temporary laughs, but you lose lasting respect. The wise never admire a gossip. They avoid them. If you want to be respected, develop the habit of guarding your tongue. When people bring gossip to you, either change the topic to something meaningful or remain silent. When you feel the urge to discuss others, remind yourself that your life is too precious to waste on words that do not build anyone up. Choose to be known as a person of wisdom, dignity, and protection, not as a broadcaster of negativity and secrets. Finally, understand this truth deeply. You gain nothing by gossiping, but you lose everything that truly matters: trust, credibility, and honor. Respect is earned by those who can keep confidences, who refuse to speak ill even when tempted, and who focus their words on what uplifts, corrects, heals, and inspires. If you remove gossip from your life, you will notice people trusting you more, admiring you silently, and respecting you deeply for your strength of character. Playing the victim is a habit that slowly destroys your power and dignity. When you constantly see yourself as the helpless one, the one whom life treats unfairly, you strip away your ability to act with strength. People may sympathize with you for a while, but they will never respect you deeply because respect is given to those who rise above their pain, not those who drown in it while seeking pity from others. The danger of playing the victim is that it becomes your identity. You start to believe that nothing is your fault and everything bad that happens to you is caused by someone else. This mindset keeps you trapped in mediocrity because you refuse to see your role in your life's outcomes. People respect those who own their mistakes, take responsibility for their choices, and seek ways to overcome challenges without blaming the world. Moreover, playing the victim drains the energy of those around you. Every conversation becomes about your misery, your sadness, your pain. People feel helpless because they see you refusing to take steps towards solutions. Eventually, they distance themselves from you because they know that no matter what advice they give, you will always find a way to remain in your self-pity. Respect fades when people feel burdened by your presence. Another hidden danger of victim mentality is that it repels opportunities. Employers, leaders, mentors, and even life partners do not want to invest in someone who refuses to take initiative. They want people who take charge despite unfairness, who adapt when things go wrong, and who refuse to be defeated by circumstances. Playing the victim makes you unattractive professionally, socially, and emotionally because it signals weakness and hopelessness. Furthermore, playing the victim makes you blind to your own power. You start believing that others must save you, that someone must come to rescue you from your misery. But life does not work that way. No one respects a drowning man who refuses to swim despite knowing how. Respect is given to those who struggle, fight, and rise above the waves with determination and silent courage. People also see through victim behavior eventually. At first, they may listen to your stories with empathy, but as the pattern continues, they realize you enjoy the attention that comes from pain. You lose credibility because they know you are not genuinely seeking solutions. You are seeking sympathy. Respect is built when people see you as strong, not when they see you as desperate for emotional handouts. If you want to earn respect, remove the habit of playing the victim and replace it with radical responsibility. Even when life is unfair, ask yourself, what can I control here? What can I do differently? How can I grow stronger through this pain? This mindset transforms you from a powerless victim into a powerful warrior. People respect warriors who stand tall despite scars, not those who use their scars to remain on the ground. Finally, understand this universal truth. Everyone is fighting battles you know nothing about. Life is hard for all, but respect is reserved for those who rise each day, refusing to let their pain define them. If you stop playing the victim, take responsibility for your emotions and actions, and choose to grow stronger rather than bitter, you will earn a respect so deep that your silent presence alone will inspire others to rise above their own struggles. Seeking validation constantly is a habit that quietly robs you of inner strength and dignity. When you live your life needing others to approve every move, every thought, and every achievement, you show the world that you do not trust yourself. People may encourage you occasionally, but over time, they lose respect for you because they see your self-worth as fragile and dependent on their opinions. The danger of seeking validation is that it places your peace in the hands of others. When people praise you, you feel worthy. When they criticize you, you crumble. This makes you easily controlled, manipulated, and swayed by external voices. People respect those who are unshakable in their convictions, not those whose confidence rises and falls based on what others think about them. Moreover, constantly seeking validation often makes you act against your own truth. You begin to say and do things just to please people rather than to remain aligned with your values. This habit creates a false version of yourself. People may like that version temporarily, but they will never respect it deeply because it is not authentic. Respect is reserved for those who stand firm in who they are, regardless of public opinion. Another consequence of this habit is that it drains your mental and emotional energy. Every day becomes a performance. You become anxious about how you look, what you say, and how people will react to your decisions. Instead of living with purpose, you live with fear of rejection. People sense this insecurity, and while they may sympathize with it, they cannot respect it. Strength, independence, and self-certainty are what command respect. Seeking validation constantly also limits your growth. You become afraid to fail because you fear losing approval. You become afraid to fail because you fear losing approval. You avoid risks and challenges that could grow you because you do not want to look foolish. People respect those who dare to look foolish in the process of mastering something new, those who are willing to be criticized temporarily in pursuit of greatness. Constantly needing validation keeps you stagnant. Furthermore, this habit makes your relationships weak and shallow. When you need constant approval, you drain your friends, family, and colleagues by seeking endless reassurance. Over time, they feel burdened and suffocated. Respect is lost because people admire those who bring strength, peace, and assurance into a room, not those who walk in with an emotional begging bowl asking to be told they are worthy. If you want to earn true respect, you must learn to validate yourself. Know your worth, your values, your dreams, and your purpose so deeply that whether people praise you or criticize you, it does not shift your foundation. When people see that you move with conviction, speak with certainty, and remain unbothered by applause or insults, their respect for you grows immensely. They recognize a rare and powerful spirit within you. Finally, remember this timeless truth. The world respects those who approve of themselves first. Validation is sweet, but it is dangerous when it becomes your fuel. Build your confidence from within. Stand in front of the mirror each morning and remind yourself who you are and what you stand for. When you remove the habit of seeking validation constantly, you free yourself from the chains of insecurity and earn the respect of all who witness your unbreakable confidence.